Kristen Nuss now with the ball in hand. USA green. Kristen and Taryn Kloth up against Kelly Cheng and Sarah Hughes. Kloth gets the first block. Nuss with an opportunity, has a look, goes so high, but Hughes is on it. Oh, the defense. It's a telling tale. These teams know each other so well, and Cheng with the ball over on one. I don't think she meant to do that.
No, absolutely. It was clutch play by all of these. This rally had everything. As an opener, it just shows what we've got to come.
I love when it's in the evening, the players aren't wearing their glasses. We get to see their faces and really see the expression. Wow, Hughes, what a rundown. This time, Kloth finishes it. Oh, yeah, the touches. Incredible defense by both teams.
These players absolutely know each other. They can spot the micro expressions of a change of direction or a new move or a move that they've seen before any of us watching can, and they have got the jump on each other, so the rallies are just going on seriously long.
Kloth will run to the net to block against the taller Cheng. Finds the space.
Yeah, many teams are opting to go to Cheng because that takes away the second ball option and they can set their defense up a little bit more structured, a typical structured defense.
Oh, Kloth just massaging that ball over on two.
Yeah, both Sarah and Kristen will be looking to lift their taller partners at the net and get as many option plays as they can.
Going to Sarah Hughes this time. Oh, and the referee, the American referee, calling the double hit on the American player.
You just see she was backpedaling, really trying to get her hands in the right place, and she just taken it a little bit low, so just threw or down, got the double touch. She couldn't get her feet in the right place.
Back to Hughes. Much better set from Cheng.
Yeah, exactly. She worked really hard to get her feet in that place, and it was absolutely exquisite as it came out. And really, just a very solid finish from Sarah, given the ball was coming over her shoulder to make that play.
Hughes now, pretty fast serve down the line, handled nicely. On the fast snap, looking for a touch on the block, and I think she was given it. Yes, she was. So USA in green, both in Nuss. They lead by one on the first side switch. So we're playing best of 3 sets. For those not familiar with the game, first 2 sets to 21 points. The players will switch every 7 points just to take advantage or have the disadvantage of any conditions, but absolutely no real side conditions to worry about at the moment. Well read by Nuss and Cheng. Nuss again, free net, but just looking for the slice, can't make that.
Kristen always going for really finite touches, because this is the way she lives and dies, by these exquisite but just trying to do too much.
Coming into the middle of the net where she loves to play from.
Yeah, Nuss has got such a great way of taking the look, just really forcing the defenders into position. Sarah's moving in there quite early in terms of what Kristen can see as she's moving into attack.
Oh, what a save from Sarah Hughes, but can't keep it in control. So Nuss and Kloth, well, they make their first little mini break. And it must be said that this is their best result in the Elite 16. The last 4 events that Nuss and Kloth have played on the World Tour have been Elite 16 events, and they've finished 5th in all 4 of them. So Cape Town, Paris, Start and Yamala since June this year. June, July, September and November, they've finished 5th. So to get through to the semi-finals, they will be absolutely rapturous, but they will be even happier if they can make it through to the final. Here they get an opportunity. And it's just drilled it off the block. The focus on Taryn Kloth's face.
Yeah, it was a really great pull from her. It's a peel, the peel dig, and then just a very aggressive set to put her. I guess she wants to challenge Cheng at the net. She wants to use her height.
Nice touch on the block, still going, and Cheng does what Cheng does well.
Yeah, it's great vision. Took a quick look for it for before, made the set, and then just a little bit broken down play, a little bit faster play by Sarah, given the option. You know, takes a look, makes sure Nuss isn't on it, and goes for it.
Oh, the pressure on the serve, too much for Nuss through the middle there. So the side switch, we're back to even, 7 points apiece. And these teams, although all four ladies have had a lot of experience on the beach, they actually haven't played each other as teams. They've played each other many times on their national tour, on the AVP, and probably on the FIVB, but with different partners. Mistake just again from Nuss. Great run down by Hughes, but Cheng just can't do anything with it.
And this is where, when they've had this amazing run recently, every single touch that Sarah Hughes has been able to get to Kelly, it's just been gold. But this is just a little overcooked it. This is the danger of Nuss and Kloth.
Sarah Hughes taking that really nicely deep, and popping it up for a perfect line shot.
I'm loving the rhythm that Kelly Cheng's hands are creating for Sarah. You can see she's got so much time. She's able to hit the ball even far off the net and keeping Kloth out of it, and just really just reaching up and rolling well.
Tight, nicely done by Nuss. And read by Nuss. Both these defenders reading everything. And again, Hughes needs a good set. Oh, finds the hands.
Oh, the frustration from Taryn Kloth at the net. You know, she just took off too early, just dragged it down, didn't get the seal that she wanted. So annoyed at herself. And as you said, they're just reading each other. We haven't had rallies like this since the first few. So this is them getting back into the groove of seeing what's happening.
Nuss again having a look, sees the short play. Wow, that was really gutsy.
Yeah, I mean, Kelly Cheng read it. She knew something short was going to happen, but just Sarah just left it a little bit too late. Maybe felt that Kelly was going to go back for it.
All smiles, Sarah Hughes. Still leading by one, the US team in yellow. Big swing from Cheng. Beautiful hands overhead. And just misses it. Hughes isn't happy. Was that touched
Taryn,
off the block?
Yeah, she put her hand up afterwards. She signalled that she's touched it. I think, oh, that's weird. I'm pretty sure she did, but...
Well, nevertheless, it's a point for the team in green, so 10 points all. Cheng has a look, goes with the power again. Nuss has got her number. Oh, and she's got a cut shot on a string.
And I love the way, you know, it's almost like offered up to her. Like, you know, you've got nowhere else to go. You can only go cut. But if that's all she's got, she'll go the finest possible margins. Not trying to be Kelly Cheng on the pull, because that's where Kelly really can get herself into the game. And she isn't taking up the bait of the late pull by Kelly Cheng and just doing her own thing. And as you said, it's just Nuss doing what Nuss does.
Well, she's fantastic to watch in defence, but so is Sarah Hughes in the yellow for the USA. And Hughes and Cheng, well, a lot has been said about their performance. They took out the gold medal here at the Torquay Challenge event just previous to this event, the Elite 16. It is their first time back together after quite a while apart. And some people think that it might be a honeymoon period, but I love the fact that they've got back together. They've taken the chance to come back and find the magic that they once had. And I think that they've grown as players after having played with other players. They really appreciate each other probably a lot more, and I think we're going to see a lot out of Hughes and Cheng, but we're also going to see a lot because this team in green, Nuss and Kloth, well, they have really, since being in Australia earlier this year, I got to say, I remember watching them and calling them in Coolangatta at the beginning of the year. They won that event. It was a Futures event, and they have absolutely improved so much since then, especially Taryn Kloth. What a play on two.
I mean, I remember tuning into that Coolangatta, and I did not want to miss a match they played because I was so excited to see them, because I see them in the college volleyball, seen them on the AVP, saw how well they were playing, and just thrilled to think that they were coming out so that we get to see more of them.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another 3-set match here. Sarah Hughes now focused on the baseline. Good chase by Kloth, but can't make it.
And this is where Sarah Hughes has been absolutely lethal. I think they got 10 aces in their last match, and I think most of them came from Sarah Hughes. She has put so much service pressure on her opponents.
Oh, well, that one very well could have been one of those trickle-over plays, but not to be, so a little sigh of relief for USA in green. Beautiful set from Kelly Cheng. Puts it in the hitting window. Sarah Hughes can just do anything with that ball.
Yeah, exactly. And what I'm really liking, what Kelly Cheng is doing at the moment, is she's not calling too early, because sometimes she can call a little bit too early and then they can release to pick up that ball. So she's given a good sense of having other eyes on the play.
Well, that's interesting, Denise, because most players don't call early enough. And I know that it's a terrible feeling when you're hanging in the air waiting for your partner to make the call, and the call doesn't come, and you just have to, you're blind, you're playing blind because maybe the ball was so high you had to keep your eye on it. So
yeah, exactly, and all your instincts have gone. So yeah, if Kelly Cheng can keep that focus and Sarah can tune in when they're in that fast transitional play where they literally have lost it, they've kept the ball alive, but they've lost the ability to see for themselves. If they can keep that communication going, then that's exactly where they'll reign supreme, because the level that they're picking these balls up and sending it to each other means that they don't always have the time to look.
Well, USA in yellow now, just up by 1. Green looking to even that up, but Hughes is on it. Can she put this one down? And she does what she does so well. She just jumps so high in the air. She's got space on the net, hasn't she, Denise? And she can just play anything.
Yeah, she's absolutely got that pounding cross-court going on, which we haven't seen, but she's exploding to it, so that Nuss has to absolutely stay in that position that she's committed to.
And one of these teams now just has to try and up their game a little bit. Can they do it? Side outs haven't been easy for either side, because as you said, the defense has been so good. Good serve. It's trouble. Nice cover from Hughes, and goes deep again.
Oh, it was beautiful to watch, and it was the cover. It was the calmness of the cover that was really just create that space and running the wide play there, and just a perfect jumbo.
In the right spot, Hughes. hold on to the lead. Hughes and Cheng. It's a great set. Nuss. Not good enough on the rainbow. Oh, nicely played by the team in yellow. They stayed with it. Just made great touches on the ball.
Yeah, Hughes is holding on the seam of Kelly Cheng when the team in green are struggling with their side out, and she's able to get those jumbo shots that are just not coming off for Nuss.
Again, easily read, run down by Hughes. And finds the top of the block. So you're right, Denise. Hughes is just waiting, and Nuss's shots they're just not good enough.
No, and she can, as soon as she senses that they're a little bit more off and not able to be as aggressive in their attack approach, that's when she holds the middle, and she's not moving until that ball's played, and that's why she's getting these really late layouts.
Smart defense by the team in yellow. 19-7-16. Trying to keep the pressure on Kristen Nuss on the side out. Who's struggling a little bit. But when she starts to struggle inside out, her partner steps up. So expect something from Kloth here, perhaps. Oh, almost had the touch on the block.
Yeah, she just hasn't been able to get herself into the game. She's had a lot of touches that have just dragged down and not really gone their way.
Set point now to Cheng and Hughes from the USA in yellow. That one was much better. Hughes couldn't run it down.
Yeah, it's a classic Nuss shot. Finally getting her range, because she's not been able to find that last couple of meters, the last 50 centimeters of the court.
Set point again. Just need to side out to take this home. And they do it. So Cheng and Hughes take the first set, 21-18. Seemed to have the momentum most of the way, didn't they?
They certainly did. And, you know, the high-speed train, I don't think it was going as fast, potentially, as some of the, but they knew that they would have to just stabilise it. They just had to make sure they got the measure of the attack by Nuss and Kloth. And, you know, what they did was they really started to understand when they were breaking them down. I think for Nuss and Kloth, they've got to be more aggressive. They're just giving Cheng and Hughes too much time to read their attack options, as they're going to have to be brave with all the way in which they usually play is so creative, and they're a little bit thwarted at the moment. And that's a credit to the way in which Cheng and Hughes are serving, because they are struggling with their side out just at the very end of this game. So it's putting the pressure on at the right time.
Well, Kelly Cheng and Sarah Hughes are definitely quite decorated as athletes on the beach. Kelly Cheng was the rookie of the season on the AVP when she came out in 2017. Won 4 national championships for her college.
I think as well for Nuss and Kloth, it's also been a struggle, this event. They've had to kind of claw their way back after their first game loss to New Zealand. So they're just a little bit on edge with themselves, but hopefully they'll settle down a little bit more. They know who they're playing, they understand the measure of them, they know how to play defense against them. They just have to remind themselves of all the previous scouting that they've done against these two individually and how they measure up as a team.
Cheng with the serve now, 1 point apiece in the second set. And a lift called this time on Kristen Nuss. You don't see that very often.
No, just a little bit low, and I think the fact was it just drifted away from her left shoulder as it came out. So I think it's a good call by the referee.
Trying to rip that one, Kelly Cheng. Just driving it out deep. So takes the pressure off after that error. Hughes again on the side out. read nicely. And there's the little cut shot we've been waiting for.
We've talked about this before. I think you were commentating a game and I said, oh, doesn't she look like Shelda Bede? And she really does. And she's got, I think Shelda was a similar sort of height to Nuss. You know, she made those great plays and she almost, people didn't serve her because she was so creative in her attack. She really reminds me of her.
Nice play into corner. And of course, you're talking about Shelda Bede from Brazil. Played a long and very successful partnership with Adriana Bejar, silver medalist at the Olympics a couple of times. Nuss has a look and sees the open corner. Nicely done.
I definitely think a little road trip for the girls from Louisiana to Florida. I think Shelda and Adriana are based there now and living in Florida. So they do remind me of so much of the way in which they could play. And I think there's so much that they could develop by having them just throw some balls into the mix along with Drew Hamilton, their coach.
Looking for perhaps a block here on Cheng, taking away her run-up. A dig instead. Smart play, nicely taken by Cheng. Goes again. Oh, Sarah Hughes on two. Don't see that very often.
No, and that was brilliant. We haven't seen Sarah offload, and she could look at the hops and the speed which she comes down on that. She has been very measured because she's been making sure she's been giving Nuss the run around, but that was just such a great hit.
Well, by the looks of that hard hit, I think Sarah Hughes should just back herself. And gee, doesn't Kristen Nuss back herself on those cut shots where she's drifting back off the net? Crazy.
I mean, it's no surprise she's been given this nickname as the surgeon. A bit like, you know, Todd Rogers being given the nickname of the professor. She's delivering such exquisitely fine shots.
So is she the surgeon because she knows where to make the cut?
I reckon. Cut down the line or cut to the right, yeah, wherever. I think it's the surgical skill, the surgical precision of all of her shots.
5 points all now in the second set. Tough serve for the team in green. Easy dig. Cheng does the turn as she does so well. She's so strong in the air when she's doing the 360s.
Oh, it's brilliant. And it's the read by Sarah and lifting it up and giving the opportunity to Kelly and just letting her have free reign when she sees that ball coming in high to the net.
Again, a tough serve on the line. Hughes with another opportunity and takes it.
And that is the experience of Sarah Hughes. You know, I keep saying it over and over again, but it's a discipline to wait on the seam when she understands that under pressure. And it's just the read that she's going. She's not moving until they make that play, and she's making it look really easy.
7-5 now. Nuss with the cut again. So playing a few of the cut shots will open up her line again and keep Sarah Hughes guessing.
Yeah, and it's that difference, isn't it, between being in the absolutely perfect hitting window or just a little bit off, which then allows that more defensive time.
Kelly Cheng looking for the big swing. It was always coming.
Yeah, it's a great lift by Sarah, and all credit to them. They haven't pulled the plug on it too early, and I like that. I like the fact that you don't hear the Cheng moves being called out so much by the commentators, because Sarah is a side-out machine, and she is just so much fun to watch when she attacks.
Team in yellow now with the mini break. Big serve again, handled nicely. And there's the block. Kelly Cheng, well, she's pumping herself up now. She wanted one of those. It's been few and far between in this match. She gets the hands on it.
Yeah, I mean, she works so hard from the service line to get in.
Oh, they're beautifully executed. They just make it look so easy. You've got Kristen Nuss doing this for the team in green, and then you've got Sarah Hughes from the team in yellow taking most of the balls on the side out and just throwing the ball around in the corners. Beautiful cut shots. It's just a game of precision right now between those two.
And I think you mentioned it earlier, it really will be about Kloth stepping up from the baseline. And she struggled a little bit because she's trying to run in a little bit too quickly and just catching the top of the net.
And that serve was directed at her, so a bit of a change up there for the team in yellow. They've just got to make sure that Kristen Nuss doesn't get into a rhythm, throw her off a little bit by throwing a few to her partner. Nice dig. Nuss can't do a lot with that. Cheng has a look, goes wide on the angle and just misses. Plenty of space to go.
Do you know what I really loved about that was the linesperson walked forward and just had a quick double check before she lifted her flag. I thought, good refereeing. Well done.
She's still got a flag in the air. I think that is my friend Linley. And the US in yellow getting a yellow card pretty much for wasting time and trying to argue with the referee and the lines judge, which they can't really do once the decision has been made by the referee. You just have to accept it. So 9 serving 10, the second set. Team in yellow winning the first. And the mistake from Cheng now.
And it was as much as well, it was the reverse set just went a little bit further off the net, so the window had opened up behind her and not in front of her to attack.
Trying to take away Hughes' run up. She gets a nice slap on the ball. She's got a really interesting arm swing, hasn't she? She doesn't have a big arm swing. She just gets her hand in the air and then she just unleashes.
Yeah, there's 2 major arm swings that are kind of talked about amongst coaches, and I think if I were to try and explain it, one's like a bow and arrow one, which is more of your typical indoor one where you draw the arm back and you sort of wind up. But for beach volleyball, I think a lot of coaches, and Sarah Hughes has been playing beach volleyball for a huge amount of time, you know, ever since she was very young, at maybe 6 years of age. And what you have to do is get your elbow up high, get your hand high, and if you have got time to swing and lasso your hand to the ball, then you will go for it. But if you need to get your hand on the ball, your hand's up early, and it's just little cuffing the ball when you need to accelerate and take that hit. So that's what Sarah Hughes is really good at. She, a bit like Misty May, who used to have I'm going to get my hand to the ball and just play it where you're not. Then if she did this lasso wind up, you know that it was going fast. And then she had like a third gear where she would really wind it up. And Sarah Hughes has just got that exact same ability.
Well, we've talked about a few players from the good old days. These players have got many players to look up to. Nice dig by Sarah Hughes again. And this time just unleashes with her own cut shot.
It's such a good shot. I mean, Nuss is nowhere. She cannot get the read on her. She can't get the jump because it's coming so hard and fast. There is no peak to reach. It's just going straight down.
12 serving 10. Nuss this time with the power. What a set. Good communication. Nuss looking to finish it but can't find the line.
Oh, and that's always the danger when you are that smaller player. If you're just going for those fine shots, the ball here just goes behind her just too much and she just can't get it in front of her, has to bend her elbow, and then it just doesn't get the right contact and goes wide.
Oh, what an ace. So Nuss probably still thinking about that last point and just not in the right headspace to follow that one out to the corner. 14-10 now. Right, back at her. And swings with the power on the retreating block. So well done by Kristen Nuss to get that side out.
It's very resolute to not call the timeout. I don't think they've called the timeout, have they yet? And then, you know, to just go, right, I'm hanging in there. But again, the compound error and the damage has been done. So Kloth needs to do something here from the baseline.
And that is it. The teams only have one timeout per set. So sometimes you really have to feel when you need to sit down, when you need to stop the train on the other side if there's a run of points. And maybe that one just got away from the team in green, like you said. 15 serving 11. Nice touch by Hughes, but unable to control that.
Oh, it's great though. I love a good into the net. You don't see it enough, and I think it's something that players need to just really whack it in even more, so it gives more airtime to your blocker as they come down.
Short, taking away the run-up. Free ball. Kloth's got to go, and does she go? We haven't seen much from Taryn Kloth. She's really been frozen out of this game so far, hasn't she?
Yeah, exactly. The serving from the team in yellow has just meant that Nuss has not been able to deliver, but that's what we need more of, because Kloth really needs to just wrestle the game back for the team in green.
I remember watching them in Coolangatta, and Kloth was hitting almost every second ball. Nice little touch over the top, and it could be because, like you said, the pressure on the serve from the team in yellow is just putting the ball in a position that Kristen Nuss just can't get it close enough for her partner to hit that ball on too. And this time going to Kloth. And forces the error.
Yeah, you've got to keep it interesting as a serving team, and they've just mixed it up just at the right time. You know, caught Kloth while she was sleeping.
Big serve, straight back to the same spot. And Kloth delivering.
You can see from their body language, a slightly different body language. The team in green are a little bit more annoyed at themselves, a little bit more frustrated. The team in yellow, even when they're making the mistakes, they're just looking really buoyant.
And it certainly makes a difference, doesn't it, to keep you on your game. You can't expect to play your best game of volleyball if you're frustrated or letting previous points stay in your mind for too long. 18 serving 14. And make that 19.
The service pressure again from Hughes, you know, to get that tight over, because usually Nuss would be in control of that, and Kloth is coming in and just annihilating those, but it's just not happening. The pressure, the drop serve.
Through the middle this time. And finds the rainbow in the corner.
I mean, they really forgot to deliver now, Nuss and Kloth on the service line, because they are not able to make any, they've just got to find their way through.
Oh, such a confident play from Sarah Hughes, bringing up the team in yellow from USA, Hughes and Cheng, their first match point. They've got a few in their pocket. They have to switch sides, but can pretty much say that this game is almost over. And like you said, the body language of the team in yellow, well, I can't see them dropping it from here. Nuss has a go, trying to keep it alive. Hughes, it's tight. Oh, and the joust for the win. Sarah Hughes, she's so happy. What a game. Cheng and Hughes, well, it's their first time back together again. They won the challenge event last week. They are now in the gold medal match here at the Elite 16 in Torquay. They have just beaten their country women, Kristen Nuss and Taryn Kloth, in two very decisive sets.